Hey, well, welcome everybody to tonight's call. We are Justin and Megan Goff. We're both Diamond Ambassadors with Plexus Worldwide. We love Plexus. We love that you're here. We're excited that you guys are here with us tonight. And we honestly believe that you guys are all here for a reason.
Yes, and it's really interesting because you may be here because of a particular pain point. Maybe you have a particular health goal or a health issue that you're looking for resolution to, or maybe you have a financial pain point, or maybe you're doing a sweet favor for a friend because they invited you tonight and you're like, sure, I'll hop on and listen. Or maybe you're a supplement user and you're already like, well, I'm already using supplements. I would love to hop on and learn more about Plexus supplements. So we are going to kick off with 4 fun giveaways. And so the way to enter our fun giveaway is to pop in the chat if you are a new Plexus user, whether you're a customer or a VIP, or if you are someone that is just curious and you're wanting to learn more about the Plexus products or what Plexus has to offer in terms of the opportunity. So we want you to pop in the chat, in the chat box, a health goal or a health win that you've had so far, okay? So we're gonna draw 4 names by the end of the call, and 4 of you are gonna be the lucky winners. So I'm going to be giving away this fun, my very favorite black water bottle, and it has a bamboo lid. It's one of my very, very favorites. And I'm going to pop my 2 favorite drinks that I love to mix together. It is our anti-inflammatory energy drink mixed with the pink drink. So it's a blood sugar balancing, hormone balancing, brain fog eliminator, little mom energy fuel for your day. So I am super excited to just hop on and just share with you guys some health wins and some just my perspective with why I started Plexus, and actually because of Plexus, what it's done for our family. So I'm going to go back really fast to 8 years ago. I was super toxic. I didn't know that I was toxic, but I just had a bunch of health issues. It was like a snowball effect in the wrong direction. And, basically everything from like massive brain fog to physiological anxiety. Like I was happy in my life, but like I had horrible anxiety. My heart would race. I had like trouble sleeping. I had a lot of like food sensitivity that was all of a sudden reacting to all the foods I was eating. It was just not fun. Couple that with hormone issues, inability to get pregnant. And we actually started to uncover multiple things, right, at the same time. So it's kind of the perfect storm. Justin came home one day and was like, maybe we should have the house tested. And that led us to find out that we had mold, which led us to figure out that I was super toxic from exposure, right? And then basically I went, basically doctor to doctor, and then finally landed on a naturopath who was going to help me heal from the ground up, right? And so I was just so thankful to find someone that could help me. And so she helped me with the gut health component, which was massively helpful for the toxicity that I was dealing with. Getting out of the toxic environment obviously helped. And so I was just so grateful. And she told me, she's like, Megan, unless you stay on a quality multivitamin, quality probiotic, and a good omega, she's like, your autoimmune issues will come back. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I had like bad thyroid issue that was autoimmune related. Okay. So my body was like attacking itself. And so I started to realize, oh my word, there is a link between gut health and blood sugar balance and hormone health and overall health, right? And feeling good. And so I worked with her for almost 2 years, enter Plexus around the time that we found out we had mold, but I was like, no thanks, I'm underweight and I don't have diabetes. I just equated Plexus products for diabetics and for people that needed weight loss. So it wasn't until there was people in my life, in my circle, that were like, Megan, you need to check into Plexus. It's completely what you track with. It's all about gut health. And so I started to see different people posting on Facebook about Plexus. And they were talking about gut health, candida overgrowth, the gut-brain connection. So I would challenge you tonight, if you're someone that's taking a peek into Plexus products, you need to go research the gut connection and whatever health issue you're dealing with. So gut and migraines, gut and food sensitivities, gut and eczema, whatever those things are, okay? And so I was super grateful to get my autoimmune thyroid issue into remission. We also started to just eliminate more and more of the food sensitivities, but I wasn't all the way. And so a sweet friend basically was like, let's get you started. So I'm like, okay. And that was Valentine's Day of 2015, so almost 7 years ago. And I'm just so grateful because when I started Plexus, I was super intrigued that not only was it addressing gut health, but it was also addressing blood sugar. And that's where I really needed a lot of help because I was bottoming out with my blood sugars and my hormones were still kind of wonky. And so month 4 was my glory month when on the Plexus products. And so I always encourage people, don't give up just because after 60 days, maybe you still have a lot of health goals to reach. And so I am so grateful because I was able to eliminate the rest of my sugar cravings, eliminate the rest of my food sensitivity issues, balance my hormones, have a couple more babies, and I feel great. I'm a mom of 7 children and we run a really busy household. We love to travel as a family. We homeschool our kids. And so I have to be 110%. I don't drink coffee. I use Plexus products and I'm so grateful for natural plant-based products that help me feel on the tippy top of my game. So I will just say really quickly, Justin noticed, he was my willing guinea pig, and he noticed some wins with his health, including gut issues resolved, no more naps, didn't need pots and pots of coffee every day. He lost the joint pain that he was dealing with amongst, other things. But the kids, when we put our kids on just the probiotic, I call it the Superman, it eliminated our son Benjamin's eczema. And at that point, I was like, okay, moms need to know about this. Moms, grandmas, dads, grandpas, everybody needs to know about this. And so it was a very organic thing for me or us to just start to tell people. Like it made sense because we didn't want to be the only ones benefiting from good, healthy supplements. So.
Yeah, and in my perspective, I see there's some guys on here. I love seeing guys on these events. So, but just from my perspective, we started with the products, like Megan said, 2015. I've always been our guinea pig when it's come to different types of supplements and essential oils and all these cod liver oils throughout the years. Like I'm always the guy who I said, if you pack them in my lunch, I'll take them. And
even the green chunky ones.
Yeah, so she did. And she did with Plexus. And I honestly fell in love with the products. The products were great. As she read, I had some great results. I'm still having great results 6 years later. So I love the products. I still take the products every day. I still share the products with people because I believe in the products. And because of that, I just want to share another quick thing just for about 2 minutes, really fast, because I know that there's some people on this call that are on this call specifically about the products. I know there's some people that are on this call specifically about the optional business opportunity with Plexus as well. And quite honestly, if I didn't share a little bit about our business story with you, I'd be sharing half the truth. Because not only the products changed our life, the business opportunity has changed our life. And we're in a different place now than we've ever been. So I have to share both with people. But when we first started, we were praying for her health. And we were praying for a business opportunity for me because I was in road construction and I was gone all the time. And my boys at the time and daughters, but mainly my boys, needed dad to be home. And to be honest with you, I needed to be home as well. So we started with the products, fell in love with the products. And then Megan came to me and she said, hey, there's a business opportunity with this Plexus stuff. And I said, no way, never. Will I ever be a part of one of those things? They're illegal. No one makes any money. I'm not ruining my name on one of these companies. No way, not going to happen. She's like, okay, do you mind if I start sharing? I said, I'll be your biggest fan, but the guys at work, the guys I was with in the Army will kill me if I start. I'm not doing it. And she's like, okay, and it's pink, of course, but she started sharing and it didn't take long. It took like 2 weeks and she made her first check, which was a few $100, which totally exceeded my expectations of network marketing. And I thought, you made $300 from home, on the internet,
sharing your story.
And I was like, is this legal? Because I am not going to jail. They're sending you real money. This isn't how work is supposed to happen. So we determined that it was a legitimate check and it cashed, right? So
totally super skeptical.
Yeah, right. And I was super skeptical. And so I said, you know what? I love these products. I've been praying for a business opportunity. And I'm going to start researching network marketing. I'm going to start researching the business side of Plexus. So I did. I just went to work. And if you go in my office now, I have a wall full of books on network marketing. And I still read them. And I started to see this is a legitimate industry. If you have good products, if you have a good compensation plan, and your corporate office has integrity. And fortunately for us, Plexus had all three. And again, I'm just going to mention real quick, I wasn't skeptical because I had a negative experience sometime along the way. I just didn't know enough about the industry. Mm-hmm. But when I started I just started educating myself. I thought, this is a no-brainer. Sharing these products will be easy because of what they've done for our families. So I started helping share that summer of 2015. And by the fall of 2016, I left road construction and I've never been back. So over 5 years now, I've been home with my kids, answered a prayer. I was looking for a business opportunity and it came in the form of a pink drink and network marketing. Who knows? Never say never, right? And quite honestly, it's changed our life. She and I are both Diamond ambassadors as a husband and wife, and we're home every day with our children, and we get to pour into them every day, and they get to pour into us. And quite honestly, it's pretty amazing. The opportunity it's been a huge blessing to us.
All righty, so we're going to have Carissa share next. She's going to share a little bit of her perspective and her journey.
Thank you, guys. I hope everyone can hear me okay. My name is Carissa Casey. I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. I joined 7 years ago this past week. And I also have an account under my husband who is Senior Ruby. So we're super, super blessed to be part of it. And to start my story with you, I'll take you back till I was 11. Don't worry, I talk fast. But when I was 11 years old, my mom died of breast cancer. And it was obviously so super, super hard. And her mom had also died really young of breast cancer. And so we suspected that there was a genetic component to all that. And when I got a little older, I found out that there was a genetic component that really increased my cancer risk. But growing up without my mom, God really planted this dream deep in my heart that when I grew up, I was going to have a lot of children and I was going to live to see them be very, very old. I didn't have a lot of other clues as to what my ambitions or future career would be, but I knew that I wanted lots of kids and I knew that I wanted to spend my days with them, and God had placed that on my heart. So my husband and I, we were well along that path. We had 2 babies, and he brought a dream to me that had been on his heart. At that time, we'd been married for a while, and he was working as an orthopedic PA, physician assistant, loved that job. He was doing great in that career. But he told me one night that he had been dreaming about going back to school and becoming a doctor. Well, that was a big shock to me. And honestly, it terrified me, because the idea of going into debt for medical school, him being gone and us never getting to see him, and me having to go back to work and not get to be the one who's home raising these kids, seeing them every day, was super sad to me. But on the flip side of that coin, I hated the idea of being a dream crusher, of being the reason he felt like he couldn't go pursue that. So I was really torn, and I didn't have peace about either of those decisions. And we kind of backburnered that discussion for about a year. Little did I know he thought about it every single day. And then one day, a trusted friend of mine who I had known for 12 years at that point started posting about Plexus. And we were already huge believers in nutrition, lifestyle, health, gut health, fitness. Like, we were already such big believers in those things. And I had been independently learning about how powerful our gut health is and how many peripheral issues it ends up being the root of. So when this friend started posting about Plexus helping her husband's IBS, helping her kids' eczema, her allergies, I was like high-fiving her because it aligned with everything that I had already been learning. So I did have some objections. First of all, we were on a really tight budget at that time. We were not pursuing medical school, but we were just trying to save up, to buy land. We had all these big dreams. So we had a very tight budget. I was spending $50 a week on groceries for my family of 4 at that time. And I took great pride in that. Actually, I was really, really savvy on my couponing and saving. So in order to start Plexus, my husband and I actually had to use our fund money, our little budgeted like allowance money. The other thing that it was a big kind of hang up for us was, is there science out there to back these claims? Because we were hearing friends talk about it helping like legitimate, ailments, issues, chronic problems. And so, of course, my husband, being the medical person, said, I'm not touching this until I scan the medical databases and look at all these ingredients. Well, that was so crazy cool, because after a couple hours, he surfaced and he said, Carissa, I want this pink drink stuff in my body 24/7. Because it legitimately balances your insulin response. It legitimately reduces your cravings for sweets and overindulging in sugar. So that was really cool. And then the final objection that was really tough for me was fear. Fear about my reputation. Because I had been that judgmental person who didn't want to go to the Tupperware parties or didn't want to go to the ARBA parties, and now I regret that. I look at it now and I think, what better than to support a friend who is running a home business? I mean, we look at the instability in our economy right now and the year we've all had, and the fact that we can be entrepreneurs, that we can kind of take some control of our lives and our family's futures. I'm like, rocket. I'm the one who stops at every pecan stand on the road and buys all the Christmas gifts from all the friends now. So I've just done a total 180 with that. But in the beginning, I really did have some fear about what people would think. And truth be told, I just had to do a lot of personal growth and a lot of praying to ask myself why that bothered me so much. And so that's been a really cool part of my journey, because I've become a totally different person, this leader person who doesn't get all wigged out and stressed out if Tom from high school is laughing at me from his computer. So that's really cool. So because we said yes to Plexus, this is my favorite part. My husband did get to pursue medical school and become a doctor. I went all in the business, and within a year, I hit Emerald, which is the point where you start earning a 6-figure annual income. You start getting to go to Hawaii every year with a guest, paid for by Plexus. You get to drive a Plexus Lexus, and those are all great things. But when I hit that rank, my income surpassed Chris's PA income, and it was the very same month he stepped down from that job to begin life as a full-time medical student. And over the course of the next 4 years, we had 3 more babies for a total of 5. I got to be home with them every single day. Our bills were covered. We still had wiggle room in our budget to date, vacation, give, and we even had enough to hire a house cleaner, which is so huge, because when your husband can only be home like 1 day a week from all the busy stuff, you don't want to be fighting about who's going to scrub the bathtub, or, have him over in the corner doing dishes while you're over here taking out the trashes. That was a huge blessing for our family, and a huge blessing for the cleaning team that we're able to hire, give a job to. But this is the kicker. We paid for med school in cash. And it was crazy. Like there would be emails and calls about, paying back your student loans. And Chris was like just walking to the bursar's office with a check from our bank account every month for $4,000 every month that we were able to cover. And when he graduated, he started working as a doctor completely debt-free. Give you guys some perspective. He has a doctor friend and that friend's wife, both are doctors. They both have a combined total of $800,000 in debt upon graduating from medical school. And they will have great high-paying jobs, no question, but that's insane. And we are starting off our doctor career without student debt. Wow. So the other really cool thing too is that he's a resident right now. Residents don't make a whole ton. I actually earn 5 times what my husband earns as a resident doctor right now. So yes, I think I covered all the blessings. It is just so amazing. I take every opportunity to tell our story. I had my kids pray over me before we got on the call tonight because they are so thankful for Plexus. And they all prayed over me that my story would inspire some of you to give this a try. So I really hope that you will. And we're going to kick it over to Brenda next.
Oh, I love your story so much, Carissa. My family is a huge part of my story too. For those of you who don't know, I'm a mama of 11. Yes, I prayed for a big family. It was a dream come true to have a lot of kiddos. That's all I wanted to do is be a mom, make an impact in the world by raising amazing children. So we chose to homeschool. My husband's also a very do-it-yourselfer. So we had a home business for many, many, many years. And that was our life. And we loved it for the most part, except we had two issues we were praying about in tears every night: my health and our finances. Did we ever think a pink drink would come along and change that? No. I call my story a John the Baptist story because it came in a form I did not expect and I wanted to reject. So I was that skeptical person. My husband was even more skeptical, probably more skeptical than you, Justin, but it sounded very similar. We were eating great. I had researched, I spent hours, literally so much that my husband said, you're gonna have to stop doing so much health research because he could see how even that was dragging me down because I was just so obsessed with wanting to learn all the things. And I had to let up after a while because I was getting exhausted more and more every day. Looking back now, we recognize a lot of that exhaustion came from the struggle of debt. In a traditional business, like I mentioned, my husband was doing custom cabinetry work, which was either feast or famine. And the way things were going with the economy back in those years wasn't very friendly towards the housing market. And we really took a hit. And so all that combined, we were desperate. But like I said, God is so good. He answered our prayer. Again, not in a way we expected, but the products brought me back from being on the couch every day, not sleeping at night, moaning and groaning and complaining all the time. Even though I spoke gratitude out loud to try to overcome that, I felt in my inside like I was moaning and groaning and complaining all the time because I was like in a miry pit that I just couldn't get out of. The products brought me back in spite of all the things I was doing right, like I was eating a great, strict diet, and I was taking a boatload of supplements already. So I was super skeptical to try anything else, especially products so cheap. Yes, that was one of my biggest issues with Plexus is it was too cheap. It wouldn't work. I could be here hours explaining all the details of all my health, my husband's health, all my children's health improvements, my friends and family. But suffice it to say, we also got over our skepticism for sharing this when we saw what this business could do. We, within 2 years, were out of that $100,000 business debt we were in. And we have now built a dream home. We are driving our free Lexuses. We are living in what many only think can happen if you go to school and get in huge debt or have some amazing degree. Someone said one time, as a diamond, I'm earning what a brain surgeon earns. And my husband and I decided one day, let's Google that. What does a brain surgeon actually make? We make more. So suffice it to say, this, like Justin said in the beginning, company is doing things right. These products are clean and amazing. You can feel good about your reputation if you share them. Our family is now enjoying so many blessings because of it. And all in all, we've been doing this for 8 years. And my husband and I sat down today and figured out, because we really didn't know, but we've made about $5 million since we started Plexus. That just blows my mind because I didn't even know it would be that high. But I want you to know that because I want you to know it works. And we have so many people on our team. We have like 15 people that have earned a 6-figure income. We have probably 200 or 300, I didn't get the number accurate, who are probably making easy 1,000 or more every month. So it's the real deal. And we're so excited for you guys to be here, to hear our stories and keep sharing with others. If you haven't yet started, you can share the day you start because the stuff works. Okay, we have some winners to announce. I'll give mine first. Sarah Miller, she said Bethany Mast invited her, so that's the Sarah we have in mind, is a winner of a fun bundle I'll be sending your way. And Megan and Carissa and Justin have winners too. Go ahead.
Okay, so the winner that I have is Russell Farrell. Russell Farrell, I'm will be sending you a Black Rifle Coffee Company gift certificate in the mail. So I'll be messaging you shortly.
Carissa, do you want to share? I'm looking at the chat to try to figure out my person.
I was kind of doing the same thing. So do you have yours yet? I've almost arrived at mine.
Well, I'm scrolling through to try to, I'm not sure who, I'm not sure who's on my team.
Okay, I think that my winner is Kristen Zayana. Oh, she was on, but she had to hop off.
Okay.
So we'll count that. Yeah, Kristen. So I'm going to send you a goodie bag of some of my favorite samples and a super cute cup so that you can flash it all around town.
Okay, and I'm going to pick Michelle Weimer. So yay, Michelle, you get my fun water bottle that's glass with a fun bamboo lid with my favorite samples. So yay, so glad you guys could hop on.
Not that exact one.
It'll be a
Not the
brand
used,
new
not
one.
the used one. You get a new one.
So congratulations everybody for popping on. Thank you so much for joining us. Brenda, was I going to kick it back to you to close us out?
Yeah, I do thank everybody for coming, and it was so fun to have the giveaways included here. So now you guys know how we did what we did and why we did what we did and why we have thousands and thousands who, because we're willing to share, their lives are changed, and you can go out there and do the same. Thank you for being on. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. And I'm going to stop screen sharing. Yay. All right. Oh, those stories are always so inspiring to me. I love hearing people's testimonies. It's usually very much a shock to me to realize what people have gone through. And like you heard Megan Goff talk about the doctors that she went through and the process that she went through. And it wasn't like Plexus came in and was this magical pill. There were things that they started noticing, like the mold that they were living in. And they had to clean up their environment, and she cleaned up her food. And then Plexus came in and was that missing link that made her body function properly. And that's what I love to present to people when I'm talking about Plexus is often that missing link to your healthy eating and healthy environment. It's what your body needs to support itself and often get down to that gut root healing for your body to function properly. So guys, I am so thrilled. I love these stories. I love hearing events like this and all the skepticism, right? They were all so skeptical. I mean, Carissa's story where she's like, no, I never go to Tupperware. I never go to any of the other network marketing companies. I never do that. And hindsight, she just realized why she felt that way and how sad that was. And now she totally supports her friends who run these small businesses from their home. Network marketing is one of the, if not the most amazing business model out there. Like I could go head to head with any business guru that wanted to argue that. I could literally share with them exactly why and how it is an amazing business model. And I'm sure Justin Goff could do even better. I mean, here's a guy, like his story is so great. He was in the military. He was working construction, totally a man's man, was not going to be caught dead with a pink drink running a business online that is so often labeled as a scam. But he did the research, and he said in his office, there's tons of books all about network marketing and the legitimacy that it is. And guys, the reason like tons of people don't become successful with network marketing is it's because it requires discipline. And that really is the bottom line. You work from home, you work for yourself, you have to be disciplined in time management. You know, you're not just going in, clocking in and coming out. You have to actually do the steps, treat it as a business, follow the systems, and be bold. So anyway,
I'm so glad you guys hopped on. Today's going to be a little bit short. There's one app. I almost forgot. There's one more thing I wanted to share. So, because it is only 5:30. So hold on just a second. I wanted to hop over to, I almost forgot this. I wanted to hop over to our Team Fire. So Brenda, you guys saw Brenda speak, and she shared about her story. And so I wanted to, hold on just a second. Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is the team Spark call that happened today. And I wanted to watch this with you guys. I'm going to start the closed captioning. Okay, that's on. And then just make this bigger. There we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, let's watch this together. I love the women that are in this Spark call, and it is so great. So we'll watch this together, and then that will wrap up our team Zoom.
Are live, I do believe. So this is fun. I just discovered something today, team. I don't know why I never caught on, but Bridget just informed me that I can go live here in Team Fire as a regular Zoom. I thought it only worked. I know it did at one time, only with a webinar. They must have changed it because I know they're back, and probably it was 3 or 4 years ago. I tried, always tried a regular Zoom. It didn't work out to do the webinar. So I think after this, I'm going to try be after you guys to get on here with your faces, and we're going to be live in Team Fire with all the people who really show up. See all your faces next time. That's our plan. So I'm really, really honored today that Bridget and Christy offered to share something with you all that Bridget and I were chatting about. She's like, we've actually been talking about that on our team too. And Christy has something special to share about it. So I'm going to pretty much give them the floor. They're going to talk to us about struggles and trials. Anybody know what that's like? But we're also going to talk about overcoming. So I can't wait to hear. Go ahead, Bridget. I don't know introducing, but Diamond, Bridget Kroll, and I'll let you introduce Christy.
Yes. Oh, it is always a pleasure to be on a Spark call because you guys, this call, I was on every single Thursday for many years. I did not miss. And so congratulations for those of you who are making this call a priority. And I love that Brenda's going to have everybody's faces on. I want to encourage you. I'm going to say this really quick. When you get on a team call or when you get on an event Zoom, turn on your camera, even if it means grabbing a little lip gloss, if that makes you feel better. I don't know, a headband, right? And like we were talking about earlier, even if it means you still need to finish up chopping up, the vegetables for dinner. I've had people hop on at the gym when they're on their elliptical and I'm like, you go mama, or folding laundry or running around chasing kids. So seeing one another's faces, even right now, you would not believe how strengthening it is. That is part of our culture, right? So I am Bridget Kroll, Diamond Ambassador. I can't believe I can say that to this day. I still pinch myself because that was in my heart very early on in my journey with Plexus. I decided I wanted to be a diamond, and Brenda was a key player in believing in me and telling me she knew that I could do it. And what a blessing to have Christy joining us here. Christina, you will find her on Facebook, guys. Christina Mastrolia is an amazing senior gold on my team, and she is down in the level somewhere. I don't know the rank, schmank. All I know is that this woman shows up. In fact, she is on our leadership behind the scenes team that's usually made up of rubies, senior rubies and stuff, because her input is valuable to us. She is consistent. She has great ideas. And she really is an overcomer. So I'm going to start out here chatting about, how to show up to your business and work during the hard times. And, I love me some John Maxwell. So I'm going to start off with a quote of his. The pessimist, you guys all know this quote. The pessimist complains about the wind, The optimist expects it to change, but the leader adjusts the sails. So you guys, the wind of trials are going to come and go in our lives, right? We all have daily trials that can they can zap our oomph and lower our creativity like that. They will always come. If you are in a season of just rest and respite, let's stop and thank God for that. And then make sure you are preparing, truly prepare yourself, not in a fearful way, but prepare yourself. And I'm going to give you 5 ways to do that for when those trials will hit again, because that is life. We have some big doozy, like the big doozy trials that can really threaten to take us out of the game of life, out of showing up, out of our businesses. Could be a loss of a loved one, you guys, a health tragedy, child rearing issues, right? Maybe you're moving cross country because you're military. We did that 3 times during my journey to Diamond. Maybe it's miscarriage, you guys, a lot of hard things happening, marital stress. So we all know what trials are. I don't need to go on and on about that, but I just want you to know that you are not alone. And the tendency for some of us sometimes, and I know I've fallen into this, is to say, oh, that person's successful because they're not a busy military wife, or they're not homeschooling their kids, or they didn't face this trial or tragedy as a child, or you guys, we cannot do that. Like leaders, they are people who John Maxwell says, another quote, love him, who stay focused instead of getting offended or off track by others. And also who get off track by their own head trash, okay? So we've got to become super intentional here. Here are the 5 things. And at the end, if we have time, I'll share 2 tips on how to stay on social media and post during the hard times, because that can be rough. Okay, number 1, be spiritually strengthened. Number 2, revisit your commitment. Number 3, rest and reprioritize. I love number 3. We need to do that more. Number 4, know your daily disciplines. And number 5, make sure you reach out for support. So we're just going to go one by one here. And these are kind of self-explanatory, so I'm not going to share very much, you guys, okay? So spiritual strengthening. I encourage you to reprioritize God's word in your personal life and sitting under the teaching, honestly, of God's word in a local church. This can also include, you guys, turning on those life-giving podcasts when you're folding laundry or driving around town or whatever. During hard times, we have to make sure that the good is coming in. It's almost like when we get filled up with that living water, we bubble over and all the junk that's at the top, like when you're scooping off the junk in your crock pot and you're making bone broth or whatever, it just like flushes away. We've got to keep doing that, okay? You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. That was my number 1 scripture that I spoke out loud to myself every single day on the road to Diamond. And I tell my kids that nearly every single day. Put that scripture on your mirror, whatever. Philippians 4:13. Okay. Number 2, revisit your commitment. You guys, we all have to do that. We have to stop, take a moment, talk to your shareholders, talk to your spouse. I'm encouraging my team to do this right now. We're about to dive into kind of more of an intense time frame where we're doing extra daily activities together. And I'm like, you got to sit down and decide what you want to put into this. Look at this many days ahead. Which days can you work? What works for your family? What's not going to work? Let's decide. You guys, some of this revisiting of our commitment has to be really stopping and thinking, is this a job? Do I want this to be a job? Is this a calling? Is this an assignment from the Lord? What do I want to do? You've got to relook at your why. It's a known fact that you guys, if your why is for someone outside of yourself, did you know that you're way more likely to show up for them? I recently heard that. It was like last month sometime. And I was like, that is so interesting. Because my why was my husband. I would look over at him every day. Sparky, I'm going to retire you. Do you know what I mean? Like that why had to be bigger than myself. Okay. Has your passion waned? Guess what? That's okay. Emotions come and go. Again, it's time to check in with your why again. It's time to look at your vision. When was the last time that you looked at your just at your rank and your point goals and just really like faced it head on and said, I want to hit this point goal by the end of November. And when have you looked ahead to 90 days? You guys, that stuff helps us rise above the trials to see ahead. It's a vision, okay? Next is one of my favorites, and I could be better at this. I could be. I feel like we all could. Rest and reprioritizing. So depending upon the trial that you are facing, maybe you could use more sleep this month. Maybe you need to commit to your man that you're going to get in bed by 9:30 and he can meet you in there at that time. Okay. Maybe it's that you need to take a whole afternoon off of Plexus every week and go on a long, relaxing walk. Maybe you've been dragging some unmotivated people and it's time to go expand your network and learn that skill. You guys, that's a skill set. You can do that and find new workers. I'm going to put this in here too. It kind of goes along with support, number 5, but asking and applying for help with customer care or your welcome calls for a month, do that. That's why we have uplines. I was able to do that with my friend Corey in 2016. There's something rather traumatic that I went through. It really turned my world upside down. It was in August of that year. I'd only been working for, 3 or 4 months. And I was like, Corey, she messaged me. She was so sweet during those days. She would remind me, oh, these people, like this person turned off their subscription, or this is, a credit card issue, or have you checked in? She was so sweet. I just said, oh my goodness, I can barely see straight. She was like, let me handle that for you. Is that not amazing? Okay, last thing about rest and reprioritizing, it might be that you decide not to scroll social media for the rest of the month. But instead, maybe you just decide I'm going to comment on my potentials posts and knock out my basic IPAs. And I'm going to do as much as I can for 30 minutes a day. You guys, if that's consistent action, you're going to continue to grow your business during the hard stuff. Number 4, gotta keep moving here because we gotta hear from my friend Christy too, you guys. Your hearts are just gonna be so warmed by her personal experience with working through trials. It's daily disciplines. This is number 4. One of my favorite quotes that came to mind so often, throughout my entire Plexus journey, but especially to Emerald, was motivation gets you going, right? But it's discipline that keeps you growing. So, who else wants to make sure they keep growing through the daily, hard stuff of life, right? Me. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And sometimes when we remind ourselves of that, our brains go, oh, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too. Brenda has the same 24 hours in a day. So does Christy, right? You guys, get this. When life gets extra busy, or maybe when you had your first baby, did you still decide to brush your teeth every day? For me, it's such a daily discipline to wake up and do that. That's not something that I have to work really hard at or put into my day, right? It's the same with Plexus. That's how my IPAs became to me. It was like, I wake up, I brush my teeth. I actually, for the first year to Senior Ruby, I would sit in my bed from 7 to 8. This is the way it worked out for our family. Our kids did their breakfast in the morning. They knew at 8 o'clock I would be out to them. But that's when I did my hardcore IPAs. Honestly, the stuff that wasn't my favorite, I tried to knock out first thing. I didn't have to think about it. I'm like, that's just what I do. That's what I do. Then we go out for family devotions and all the things. So that's up to you to decide those things. And I'm going to make mention of this. We all need help sometimes looking into our life and seeing what we can tweak. This is a great thing to hop on a Zoom with a sponsor, or even just message them and be like, what are the main things that you think I should be doing right now? What do you think I could plug into right now? What's most important for me? I'm struggling to figure it out. That's what we're here for. Okay, last thing is support. I do not believe we're meant to do this life alone. You know, and this is called, our industry is called network marketing for a reason, right? Reach out, get prayer, talk to a caring upline. And you guys, it can take time, but when you start surrounding yourself with like an inner circle of people who've really caught the vision, who are givers, who love you and who are committed to understand you and push you a little bit out of your comfort zone, you have found your people. So in the meantime, while you're waiting to find them, ask for prayer, look to your sidelines, be consistent in team calls and team chats, and you are gonna meet the sweetest people. Okay, I'm gonna stop. We'll wait to the end if we have time for posting on social media, 2 top tips of mine. But next we're gonna hear from Senior Gold, amazing Christy Mastrolia, who we're just gonna let her take it away. She's gonna share about her journey through more of a rough time in life earlier this year. And you guys, I saw her continue to show up. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Christy. I've been with Lexus 2 years already. It's flown by. And May of this year, you know, my life, I'm a stay-at-home mom to 3 kids. I am so madly in love with my handsome hubby. And May of this year hit, and our life was shook. I got hit with some big conviction that I needed to share with my hubby. And I knew this could be the demise of our marriage. This could be the end of life as I know it. And it was so hard. I fought God for 3 days on it. And I felt like he's going, I can be here all week. Like, I'm not going anywhere. It's like, oh my gosh. So it was really hard. And we would try to work through things, and we'd have a couple really good days, and then so hard, and just back to the ground, and then try to rebuild and back to the ground. And our kids were picking up on it, and they weren't being bad, but they were acting out because there's so much dysfunction going on with mom and dad, and we're spending more time with grandma and grandpa so mom and dad can talk. And it's just so much. It affected our family so much. I have a big why for the business, and for Plexus. It just like Bridget said, her why is her hubby. He is my why. He's a first responder. And if I could bring him home and spend more time with the kids, spend more time at home, he works graveyard. So he works all night till 4 a.m. and then sleeps most of the day. And he wakes up when the kids go down for naps. So just the dynamic with our life right now is really difficult. But I knew in the hard time, I did not want to see giving up Plexus. And then when things got better, because I knew God's not going to leave us or forsake us. I knew he was going to carry us through whatever that may look like. And I didn't want to look back and be going, shoot, I should not have given up on my why, on my dream, on my goals, because now I'm working towards the same exact goal, but I am so much farther behind than I was. So I had to make that choice. I showed up in stories every day. And if you go back, like looking through my archives, you can see when the hard times were, because my stories were all scripture and encouragement, and then a picture of my kids here and there and some Plexus in between. Oof. I had to show up. I had to reach out to my sidelines. I had to reach out to my uplines. I had to ask for prayer. I had a group of gals from my old church that I would share with. I was like, guys, this is really vulnerable. I'm not proud of this, but this is what's going on. We really need prayer. Being vulnerable and asking for prayer is absolutely incredible. Please do it. It's bigger than I can say. Ask for prayer, ask for help. But the daily actions, our IPA actions are so simple. I mean, you can bust it out in 20 to 30 minutes. And then what's cool is it's like, okay, so I got done the things that I have to get done. Got muted there. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to do a second IPA. There were a lot of days where it was like the kids napped so great. And I got my IPA done and I still had so much time left. It was like, I'm going to do that again so I can further my business, so I can work towards my goals. Sending messages and friendships was so rewarding to my heart, and people were vulnerable with me too, where I'd reach out to somebody I met in a group on Facebook. Hey, how are you doing? I haven't connected with you personally yet. How's your week? And they're like, I am struggling. And we can connect and support each other. And then these beautiful friendships are formed. So that was amazing. Get in groups. Groups are hilarious. They're encouraging, bringing value to my page. I want to share about my kids, my homeschooling, my baking. And then I also want to share on Plexus. I don't want to just share a picture of me with my pink drink. I want to share why this is part of my everyday life, why I will not give up this ProBio 5, why ease is amazing. You know what I mean? Bringing value, not just in Plexus, but who am I as a person? Who am I as a mom? Because they're going to trust us on this journey. So my IPAs, message and friendship, I don't do TV. That was something where it's like TV just does not matter to me. I'd rather give that up and work towards my dream of bringing Tony home than veg out on a show on Netflix for 3+ hours that I got nothing out of. So TV is gone. Also, I didn't realize it till Bridget, you were mentioning it. I don't scroll Facebook. I'm very intentional with my time. And if I get my IPA done and then I go above and beyond and do another IPA, I'll scroll for like 5 minutes. Sometimes I'll scroll reels and get some audios to save, but I will scroll and there's friends that I have not connected with ever or in months. It's like, ooh, we were talking and I'm gonna comment on their post and check in with them. So that is really cool. So no TV. And then also reaching up to your uplines and saying, okay, these are the actions that I'm doing. In this hard time, my points started to go backwards, even though I was showing up every day. And so reach up to your uplines. Okay, this is happening. These are my actions every day. What am I missing? And if they happen to say, you're not missing anything, don't take that as this is not meant for you. This is not where you're supposed to be. Trust the process. We've all heard that phrase, trust the process. Keep going, because typically it's 90 days later, the work that we're doing today is going to blossom into something incredible. And I can tell you, honestly, last month, that happened for me. It was my biggest month. I re-ranked senior gold last month. It was so exciting. And this month is looking incredible. So trust the process and keep going. It would be much better to keep putting in the work than end up giving up for a few months. And then when things get better, you're going to continue on with your same why, but you're starting back there.
Aw, thank you so much. First of all, for being vulnerable. I mean, you just shared that that has blessed you, and now you've blessed us by doing that, sharing your story. And I just have to say, I mean, I was nodding my head all the time, so I guess it's kind of a given that I agreed with so much of what you said. But a couple of things that I just want to remind everybody of. Neither of the girls really mentioned it, but did you find yourself comparing ever, like their stories? I always like to think of it this way. I like to compare for challenging myself. Like, oh, I can pick that out from them because they're going through it also, kind of in an empathy or sympathy way. But I don't like to compare for, oh, I could never, or I can't be, or so I just find it so encouraging when you guys share the real things you've been through and what you've been through, because that kind of comparison or that kind of what's the word I'm looking for, but like we can feel it, we can get it, we know what that's like. No one is untouched by trials, and no one ever builds their Plexus journey and business without struggles and without wondering, can I do this? So that just means so much to me. I just happen to think of back when I was maybe at baby number 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. And I'm just thinking, I'm feeling a little bit better between babies. I should maybe do some like workout just from home, like maybe a little video or something. And every time I think about it, it just overwhelmed me. And I'm like, there's no way a mama of 11 or 10 or whatever, actually this was probably a little later in my journey, I remember, can even do that. Like, I don't have time for that. And then I met someone who had 12 children and she worked out every day. And then it blew all my excuses out the window. So just saying, there's always going to be somebody who's going to prove you wrong if you have excuses, even if it's trials that maybe you feel alone in, you're not alone in. Bridget, did you want to add anything yet?
Just so inspiring. I want to say this real quick too. Like, I think there are 3 diamonds here, right here on the screen. 3 diamonds. It's true, Christy. Don't forget it. I think 2 top ways I feel like can really help you show up to social media during hard times is number 1, think about being transparent. I know some things are very private and, we don't need to display everything on social, but find a way, if you can find the words to share that you're going through a hard time. That is very, very relatable. And you're most likely going to get people praying for you. They're going to be like, oh, she's not a robot. Oh, and she's doing this business. Wow. Okay. So people like me can do this, right? But also, you can share things like how your Plexus supplements are supporting you through the trial and how your team culture is praying for you. Those are things that we bring with us, Plexus. So the other thing is, make sure that you are following people who really inspire you in this business, because they're going to fire you up again. You're going to be like, oh, I like that girl. Follow the successful people. Go dig for them. Look who's on the leaderboard and be like, how are they posting? What are they sharing? You are going to learn from them. And, we are one Plexus. It's a time to look at their posts and try to pull from the bones of their posts and create your own to kind of get you through your hard times. So I hope that helps you all.
I agree so much with that. Following the people who inspire you. I find I still need that even 8 years into my journey and being a diamond for 7 of those years or whatever. I love and I need to still hear from the people who are doing the things and are overcomers. We need each other. That's in essence, that wraps everything up. We need each other. So let's not forget that, to reach out when we need to. Thanks so much, ladies. It helped me. I know it helped many. You have a good afternoon.
I love this so much. So I love everything that they shared. Learning how to share Plexus in the hard times. Sorry, I have my 20-month-old who's wandering around and taking stuff off my desk. So guys, thank you so much for staying with me. This is recorded for all of you who couldn't make it on live, but I just want to say thank you to those who were here. And thank you so much if you are watching the recording, because this is huge. Staying connected to your people who are into Plexus, doing the things, taking the product, feeling better, and then sharing. Just like Brenda said, we need each other. So that's why we do this every other week. All right, guys, have an amazing Thursday evening, an amazing weekend as we head into it. And I won't see you before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving. Good night. Thanks, Brandon.